Welcome to Math with Mrs. Brown. We are in section 7.5, predicting measurements, looking back 7.5. So hopefully you realize when you're measuring an object, you start at one side and you measure the length to the other side by putting the standard unit of measure end to end with no gaps or overlaps from start to finish. And that most of the time you're between measurements, so you have to see which one it's closer to. Measurements in whole units are often estimations. Guessing a measurement before actually measuring helps to see if the actual measurement makes sense. But guess the closest measure of the bracelet in paperclip units. Which answer makes sense? Now look at your paper. It looks a lot bigger on this screen than actually on the paper. So do we think it's bigger than, do we think it's only one paperclip? A, or B, 2 paperclips? Or C, 10 paperclips? Or D, 5 paperclips? So let's see what makes the most sense. Okay, so here's a paperclip. Do you think it's only one? Well, certainly it's bigger than one, so that one is not the answer. And we can also see it's bigger than 2, right? Because 2 of those will only take us that far. So it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be between 5 and 10, but 10 would be way 4, 6, 8, 10 would probably be way over here. I think it looks like it's going to be 3 more of these, right? Somewhere. 10 is too big. 1 and 2 is too small. 10 is too big. So it's probably going to be 5 paperclips. But let's look. So start at the end here. Go from one end to the other end, putting your units right next to it, side by side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! We finally got a pretty close measurement. It actually is 5 paperclips. Okay, example 2. Guess the closest measure of the bracelet in sugar cube units. Which answer makes sense? So here's a sugar cube. Does it look like it's only going to be 2 of those? A? Or 10 of those for B? Or 100 of those for C? Or 50 of those for D? Well, it's definitely bigger than 2, right? Because this is 2. So we know 100 is going to be way out there somewhere. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, probably around 10. 100 is going to be way too big. 50 is going to be way too big. We think it's around 10 cubes. This is a hard angle to look at because I do have this lined up here, but looking where you're, it looks like this is the start, right? But this actually is the start. This line is lined up with that's lined up with the side of my sugar cube. It's just kind of at an angle. Move it over here if that would be better. Still a little hard to see, but you can do it on your paper. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's actually a little bit bigger than 10, but very close. Very close to 10. So we did a nice job on that. So basically it was 5 paper clips. And the same bracelet was 10 sugar cubes. Why was it more sugar cubes? It's the same measurement. It's the same measurement. The bracelet didn't change measure, but our unit of measure did. Paper clips are bigger, so it takes less of them. The sugar cubes are smaller, so it takes more of them. Okay, on to the practice problems. Looking ahead, 7.5. Find some coins and count out 7 of each. Put a scoop full of those pennies, nickels, and dimes in a cup, but not all of them. just grab some of each. Pour it out on the table, copy this page, and put 1 coin per box next to its name. Okay, so go and get some pennies. We haven't really talked about pennies, nickels, and dimes. I drew some. And I wrote the "In God We Trust" here. I love that pennies, nickels, and dimes for the country where I live says "In God We Trust" in it. All three of them do. We do. In God. So it's nice since we have to use money most days to see that on there. We can trust Him with our money to provide for us, and that we can work hard and we can give our money to help others. Okay, so go ahead and collect those coins. A penny is copper. You can ask somebody in the family to help you. 5 pennies is a nickel. A nickel is 5 cents. It's a big silver coin. And 2 nickels, 5 and 5 is 10 cents, which is a dime. Okay, go collect a handful of those and a cup. Now, you may be living in a country where you don't use pennies, nickels, and dimes. And that's fine. You probably have some beautiful coins. So go ahead and just find 3 different coins and just call one of them a penny, and call one of them a nickel, and call one of them a dime. But get 7 of each, right? Get 7 of each to use for this activity. Okay. So I don't need my popsicle sticks and those anymore, do I? Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pennies, or whatever you're calling pennies. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nickels, or whatever you're calling nickels. That's how that looks now. Looks a little bit different. It's going a different way, but oh well, I invented an old new coin. These are the newer versions. Okay. It's facing a different way. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dimes. We call this the head size because it's got a head on it. Heads of presidents. We call the opposite side a tail side. So, okay. So we're going to take all those coins and we're going to put them in a cup. Get the funnel out of my paper so I can drop them in there. We're going to mix them around. Right? We're going to mix them around like that. And then we're just going to grab a handful. Not all of them. I'm just going to grab a handful. And then I'm going to put them where they belong. So the nickels are going to go next to the nickels. The pennies are going to go next to the pennies. The dimes are going to go next to the dimes. And yours are going to be different than mine, right? So I'm going to show you how to do this based on mine. And then you're going to do it yourself. So you're going to write your own answers based on the coins that you picked up. How many pennies are there? Well, in mine, there are 3. How many nickels are there? Well, in mine, there are 3. How many dimes are there? Well, in mine, there are 4. Which coin has the greatest number? Well, the dime does. Which coin has the least number? Well, the penny and nickel, they're the same. They both have 3. So hopefully yours will be different, not the exact same. If each box is 1 unit long, which coin is the longest in number of box units? So now I'm not looking at the length of the coin. I'm calling my box unit 1 unit. So I'm saying this box is 1 unit long. So There's 1 penny here, 1 penny there, 1 penny there. There's 3 boxes. So the pennies are 3 units long. Now the nickels, a little wider than my boxes, but the nickels, they're in 1, 2, 3 boxes. So they're also 1, 2, 3 units long. So I'm using the side of the box for my unit of measure. This is 1 unit. So that's exact same size. That's 2 units. That's 3 units. And then that's a 4th box for my 4th dime. So that's 4 units. So the pennies and nickels are 3 units, 3 box units long. That's how many boxes house them. The dimes are 1, 2, 3, 4 box units long because that's how many boxes house them. So which coin has the longest number? That would be the dimes again. Each box is 1 unit long. Which kind is the shortest? That again would be the penny and the nickel because they're both 3. And then finally, now you're not putting these answers in yours. Yours are going to be different. I'm just showing you how to do it now. If each box is 1 unit long, how long is the number of pennies in box units? 3 box units. So the penny is 3 box units. If each box is 1 unit long, how long is the number of nickels in box units? Again, the nickel is the same as the penny. It's 3 box units long. And if each box is 1 unit long, how long is the number of dimes? It was the longest. It's 4 box units. So that's what I'm calling my unit of measure, box units. Now, I did not ask which coins are the longest because if I asked that, you'd have to put them all next to each other like this. Now the nickel itself, going through the center, seems to be the widest coin or longest coin through the center, right? But it just so happens that my dimes are the longest because it's more of them, even though they're the smallest through the center. So that's why we had to compare the same units to compare them. So really the number of coins determined the length of the unit boxes. Okay, you go ahead and try your own. And that's it for today. Bye now. Have a great day. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow.